We are in part 5, find the radius given arc length. And let's start with determine the radius of a circle with circumference of 137.65. So remember that the formula for circumference is 2 times pi times r, and we're given the circumference this time. So 137.65 equals 2 times pi times r. And we can start by dividing both sides by 2. So 137.65 divided by 2 gives us 68.83 when we round it. Looking at this, since this is a 5 or higher, rounds that 2 to a 3. So 68.83. And remember, we just divided by 2, so we still have that pi r left. So now let's divide by pi. So we're going to take our 68.83 and divide by pi. And we get 21.91. Looking at the 9 to determine what to do to the 0, 9 is 5 or higher. So our radius is 21.91. Same kind of idea down here on problem number 9. We want to figure out the radius. We're going to be using these two formulas from earlier in the notes. I wrote a note card so I didn't have to keep flipping back and forth on them. And it says determine the radius of a circle if the shaded sector has an arc length. We haven't used this second formula very much, this arc length. But we still start off with the central angle, and it says central angle of 68 degrees divided by 360. And then it says has an arc length of the shaded sector, so that, you can't see my formula here, that's going to go on top, and that's going to be 26, and then our formula, the bottom, the denominator, is going to be 2 times pi times r. So proportion, we're going to cross multiply. 68 times 2 times pi times r equals 360 times 26. And that's the easiest to type in, the 360 times the 26, which is 9,360. And over here, if we do the 68 times 2, 68 times, actually let's do 2 pi, we get 427.26. Looking at the 6, we'll round that 5. Round that 5, so we get 427.26 r. And we're trying to find r. So again, I multiplied 68 times 2 pi, so I'm going to put a little times in there for that r. Now we're going to have to divide 427.26 so we get 9,360 divided by 427.26, and we end up with 21.91. Again, looking at the 7 to determine what to do to round there. 21.91. Again, determine the radius of a circle if the shaded sector has an arc length, that's a key, we need to know which formula to use, of 10 and a central angle of 105 degrees. So when we set these up, what's going to happen here is our central angle, 105, divided by 360, equals arc length of 10, and then our bottom value there is going to be 2 times pi times radius. And I'm going to write it like that. Eventually we want to find the radius. But we're going to cross multiply. So we get 105 times 2 pi times r equals 360 times 10. And 360 times 10, I hope you don't have to type it in, but if you do, we get 3,600. What I do need to type in is 105 times 2 pi. 659.73, because that 4 is less than 5. And don't forget that it's multiplied by r, so we need to undo that multiplication by dividing. So 3,600 divided by 659.73 will give us our r. We're going to round to 2 decimal places, so we're looking at the 6. The 6 is 5 or higher, so that means our 5 is going to move up to 5.46.